My name is Al Matthews and I'm the founder of the PawPrint Africa Project, a non-profit organisation with a very simple mission: to increase literacy in children and promote wildlife conservation in Africa. PawPrint Africa was started in 2009, and the aim of the project is to distribute books in the Animal Adventures in Africa series to disadvantaged children at rural and no-fee primary schools that are situated in and around game reserves in Africa. What we're trying to achieve firstly is to get children to learn to read. We have a really big problem with literacy in Africa. For example, in a country like South Africa, which is considered to be at the forefront of development in Africa, over 33% of our population is functionally illiterate. South Africa has been rated as one of the 10 worst countries in the world in terms of literacy. The fact is that our children cannot read, and they cannot learn, finish school and go on to higher education. This impacts directly on their futures, on whether they're able to find jobs, provide for their families and contribute to their communities.
They don't expand because they don't have anywhere to go and read and gather more information.
Literacy is at the heart of social change in Africa, and one of the only opportunities that children have to break the cycle of poverty and bring about social upliftment. Secondly, we're encouraging children to learn about wildlife and the importance of conservation to tourism in Africa.
It will be a good opportunity actually for our kids to have such books. Number one, it will be teaching them more about nature. Since we are staying next to the places where there are those animals, and they'll be able to protect the animals. Sometimes we used to see the kutus running around here. I think now they'll be getting real stories about animals.
By giving them the opportunity to read books about wildlife and conservation issues in a fun and entertaining way, we are helping children develop a love of animals and an appreciation and understanding of the value of game reserves.
So now if they read the books about that, they will know more about nature, and they'll be able to improve their English and their vocabulary too.
We are helping them realize that they have a very important role to play in the preservation of endangered species, and that our wildlife needs to be preserved and not destroyed through environmental and subsistence poaching.
You can read other books that have interesting stories.
Children, there's colorful things.
Up to 3% of GDP is generated by the tourism industry in South Africa, and much of this is attributable to the game reserves and wildlife that we offer. Our children need to sustain and grow this. If the tourism industry generated 10% of the GDP of South Africa, the industry would generate some 40 billion rand annually and create over 20 million jobs. We believe that the PawPrint Africa Project will benefit companies that are looking for a valuable organisation with integrity in which to invest their corporate social budgets. But most importantly, it will benefit the children who receive the books by increasing their reading ability, their awareness of wildlife and conservation issues at a level that they can understand, and giving them the opportunity for greater social upliftment.
My name is Cynthia. I want to be a teacher when I grow up.
When I grow up, I want to be a dentist.
I want to be a social worker.
The school actually, it started as a school to help with the orphan children and the very vulnerable children.
Kofi Annan, the former UN Secretary General, once said, "Literacy is quite simply the bridge from misery to hope." The PawPrint Africa Project is passionately committed to building that bridge to hope. One book now can make the difference of a lifetime.
Thank you for the book.